Welcome back. This is Chicken Philosophy, the Nag Hammadi, part 52, in which I will pick up right where Edward left off in part 51, in not reading the Nag Hammadi. If you'd like to start at the beginning of the Nag Hammadi, not the Nag Hammadi, that's something else. Let me get this pointed at me. That's a little better. Anyway, the link is here for the playlist, the Nag Hammadi playlist. You can check it out. It's pretty cool. So I go over it every time, so I'm not going to go over it too much, but we're reading this today for reasons that I've talked about before. And eventually, it's short, it's relatively short, so we'll be getting back to this, and we'll still be reading this for 100 years at least.
Hey, BT.
Oh, hey, Pymander. Did you have an announcement or something?
Oh, no, I just, I wanted to remind you not to forget to tell them about the new book.
Oh, yeah, this just arrived in the mail yesterday. It came up in, what were we reading? Was it? Yeah, no, it was this. It was last time when Edward was sitting on that balcony. It was this. The Ouroboros. See the Orin that Atreyu is wearing in the Never-Ending Story, because the serpent. There was the Garden of Eden serpent, not the serpent power serpent. Although some people will say that they're the same, and just to poke them in the ribs, we'll play along. Yeah. Let the Garden of Eden serpent ride up your spine, and woo, it'll be fun. Anyway, stay tuned. That's for another pedal. What are we talking about? It doesn't matter all that much. No, we were saying something. Yeah. So in that one, they talked about how the Ouroboros, the snake eating its tail, came up in one or two things, and it mentioned the Pistis Sophia, and I was like, Pistis Sophia, I feel like I've heard some of my Gnostic friends make reference to that at some point in my youth. And so I, Googled it like you do, and it turns out this was a text that was discovered more like the 1700s or something. I don't know. We'll read it later, but it's kind of sheds some light on, so those French people with their statue of Mary Magdalene arriving on the French Riviera, going on for hundreds of years is kind of like, maybe it goes back to the 1700s. They weren't barbecuing as many people for that sort of thing by then. They were used to the Protestants and stuff by then. Thank you, Martin Luther, for opening the door for all of us other more extreme heretics in that corner of the world. What are we talking about? Doesn't matter. Basically, we'll read this one day. I don't know when, but not right away. So we're going to read the Acts of Thomas. We're continuing with that. Then we'll get back to this. And then at some point, when it feels right, we'll just be like, okay, we're going to read this. Maybe we'll read this after this. I don't know. I just wanted to let you know that I have it and that we'll read it one day. And yeah, thanks to Pymander for reminding me about that. So do you want to let people know about your new episode? You just did an episode yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing real specific that's new, but you're free to check out Buddhist Books Podcast in general.
Fair enough. Thanks for stopping by.
Okay.
All right. Well, always nice to get a surprise visit from him. Today's beverage is a cup of black coffee. We're still on the sauce. Cheers. There's worse sauces to be on, as they say. I remember one of my former students who thought he was the reincarnation of Father CRC. Maybe he was. I don't know. He's fallen on hard times if he is. He was, a schizophrenic meth addict. I say with love. That's literally what he was. I'm not trying to insult anyone by saying that. It's the clinical... and so then when I was talking to him, I was like, yeah, how's it going? He was like, oh, it's all right, except I'm back on the sauce. And I was thinking, alcohol? Is that like an old-timey way of saying, and he was talking about meth. I'm like, oh, that sauce, that counts as sauce. Well, anyway, I guess sauce can be whatever. I got my book coming up, Hamster Sauce. Keep an eye out for that sometime in the 2030s. It's a very slow-going process. I think I'll read my new poem or Gwydion will read his new poem on the Astral Coffee House sometime in the relatively near future. We wrote a poem recently. Never mind. All right. Yeah, no. So this is Copal. We're going to allow it to bring us into a little bit of a trippy Theoricus vibe, sort of lunar, astral kind of thing. So that's fun. All right. Are we all caught up? We're all here. We're all good. Oh, this is the, where are we? This is the second of the third and final quinary of the Monsoon 15. And, okay. And there's also a compilation video of all the yellow and purple episodes up to a certain point. I mean, little clips from it. They're fun. I'll just play random piece of it.
Instantly enlightened and one with Jesus.
Yeah, so it's all me, all purple petal. So before the Nag Hammadi, purple petal was Teilhard de Chardin. And then now it's Nag Hammadi. Now it's Acts of Thomas, but we're still calling it Nag Hammadi, whatever, And, so that compilation video is right here. And we'll put it at the end, just for shits and giggles. And even though he didn't ask me to, I'm also going to put Pymander's latest Buddhist books recital that he did yesterday. Just because lately, generally, for those who, if you don't follow both, Buddhist Books Podcast is the main channel. Chicken Philosophy is the echo. And sometimes the shadow is a little more fun than what is casting it. But yeah, so what happened was, Buddhist Books Podcast started out very formal. Oh, we're going to read these books now. But then over time I was like, you know what? I've got some shit to say. And if you got a problem with that, that's your fucking problem, So anyway, so there I am in my monk's robe with my Buddhist, scriptures in my hand saying, I've got an issue with the world today, And so then Chicken Philosophy was born. And then Chicken Philosophy absorbed all of that extra stuff. So then Buddhist Books went back to just being, okay, I'm going to read this scripture. And occasionally I'd get irritated with the Polytech Society. But beyond that, I wasn't really going off on too many tangents. Except for sometimes, but very rarely. But it was usually related to Buddhism or related to some experience I'd had or whatever. I mean, experience in reality, not so there I was, no, I mean, no, so I was, in the Himalayas and I met this guy and he told me this, that kind of thing. But what am I talking about? I'm talking about, the last couple episodes, Pymander's been letting loose a little bit, letting his yapper, yap. And so I think that's special, I mean, it's a little bit of a alchemy process. The early stuff was the lead. If you enjoyed Carl Jung's Black books, you might be into the lead, of things. So if that's the case, then check out early Chicken Philosophy and early Buddhist books. But if you only want the refined gold, then of course turn into the recent stuff because it's refined gold. No, just hold out until the long gray beard. Maybe that'll be gold. I doubt it. What are we talking about? Doesn't matter. Never really matters all that much. Did I finish what I was saying? Probably not. Yeah, no, so yeah, the compilation, the yellow and purple compilation, because this is a yellow and purple episode, right? You got that? Because of the stripes. Do you see 2 stripes and a square? If not, click here. Expand the screen. Yeah, so here we are. Yellow and purple. Oh, actually, do I still have enough links? People really enjoyed, there was a couple times when I just, got a wild hair up my ass, as polite people say in polite society, and gave an impromptu, Hermetic Kabbalah lesson around the theme of the color pairs, the Chicken Philosophy color pairs, and then cut them out and made them introductions to the Chicken Philosophy color pairs when I got into those. I got into those during the Ashram 15 for a little while. And so, yeah, that introduction, the one that is a little bit like this. And the colors here that have just appeared. So it's Yesod to Tiferet, so it's all about temperance. That introduction is right here. Okay, all done. Have we ever made the temperance? I'm gonna check. I don't know. I won't put any restrictions on Editor Edward and randomly decide on the thumbnail today. Besides, we haven't done the reading yet, so we don't know what weird ideas and weird imagery will inspire the thumbnails. It's always fun deciding on what image. I'll let you see it. This is today's thumbnail. That's what it looks like. Because sometimes if you're on the phone, then you don't actually see the thumbnail. You only see some random image that YouTube decides on and makes it vertical. So that's what's going on. It's usually some awful kind of pause face, like, ah! Often it's like that. In fact, maybe that's exactly what it chose, was that particular image. Okay, let's move along, shall we? Hopefully the music has been good, because certainly the talking has just been talking. Yes, okay. The incense is nice. Okay, so the first thing we do in these purple things lately is we do bibliomancy from Philokalia, just to give the Orthodox their 5 minutes. Usually more than 5 minutes. Okay, so Saint Maximus the Confessor. This is not his first time on Chicken Philosophy. According to Maximus, not all passion is bad, I'll say. Indeed, he says, quote, there is need for the blessed passion of holy love. End quote. You ever heard of the Passion of the Christ? Can't say that's bad. I mean, objectively, it's a terrible movie. My God, snuff flick. Fucking Mel Gibson, anti-Semitic. Anyway, no. The Orthodox tradition does not shy away from the use of tarot. No, eros. What? Eros? You mean like arrows? The Greek name for sexual love. Okay, my interest is piqued. By the way, we're not reading Maximus yet. We're reading the Philokalia people commentating on Maximus. But now my interest is piqued because usually I bring in the innuendos, but now they're saying, yes, the Orthodox do not shy away from sexual love. They don't have a vow of chastity for their priests, but for their monks they do. I mean, there's famously you'll see, well, maybe you don't. The algorithm might, those guys. There was a guy that lived his whole life, lived to be 80-something years old, and never once saw a woman. And it's like, okay, everybody has their thing. The Greek name for sexual love. To speak of God's love, for unless you ask Carl or Greek mythology, anyway, he has a different definition of eros. And then Richard Wilhelm has a third, fourth, fifth. To speak of God's love for us and our love for God. Sexual love, right. Yeah, Songs of Solomon, all the Hafiz poetry, the Sufi poetry, sexual love. I mean, it's a level. I mean, I think that it's a level, it's a transition level between oneness and separateness and a feeling of isolation is the flirtation period and all the different, and breaking up and getting back together with God, and all that, different forms and whatnot. Whatever. Anyway, continuing, to speak of God's love for us and our love for God. Love for God. Is it in you? Because we're the lady. If you didn't know, all humans are, in the Abrahamic metaphor, we're meant to be the lady laying on the bridal chamber bed. God is the man who's... All right, I'll just keep reading. What? Yeah, we see this understanding of erotic or passionate love. For example, in the Hebrew Bible's Song of Songs. Yeah, it's pretty sterile. Try Sufi poetry, it's better. Okay, so now St. Maximus the Confessor is going to talk about that. Let's see what he says. Just as passion-free thought about human beings does not compel the intellect to scorn divine things, so passion-free knowledge of divine things does not fully persuade it to scorn human things. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, okay. Let's Tree of Life me a little bit. So you got the orange one and the green one. You see those? So just to keep things real simple, the orange is like Vulcan mind, like nanu, live long and prosper, logic only. The green one is like the opposite of that. Klingons, but without the violence. They're more like Mars, but like desire, let's say. Desire and reason, we can call them, like Builders of the Atom does, And so, yeah, if you notice the orange one, am I pointing to the right side? Yes. The orange one, the path that connects it with Teilhard is indigo colored and has a little ayin on it, for those familiar with the Hebrew alphabet. I know it's hard to look at Hebrew these days without thinking of genocide. It used to be, you'd think of genocide, but the other way around, you know what I'm saying? Back when I was a kid. What are we talking about? Yeah, no, I'm making a little joke because some people feel weird about Arabic, but I'm saying, yeah, but now Hebrew. Never mind. What? On account of... There's 2 billion people, there's going to be 19 or so that do some shitty things every once in a while in September. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? No? Okay. Let's get back on track. What are we talking about? Ayin is the devil. So when reason looks toward Tiferet, it sees the devil up there going, hey, what you looking up here for? Why don't you look down there? There's all kinds of pretty shiny things down there. Oh, so many of them. You could collect them all. Gotta catch them all. And Hode's like, yes, that's logical. I gotta catch them all, right? But, on the other hand, you have the green one. This isn't exactly like, I'm just, making a little silly cartoon here. The green one looks up toward Teilhard and sees death. The obliteration of itself in order to achieve oneness. The true apocalypse. The rending of the veils. The meaning of the word apocalypse. The rending of the veil. What veil? The veil between the bride and the bridegroom. What bride and bridegroom? We've already talked about this. It's, God and man. But let's just say the alchemical sun and the moon. The conscious and subconscious mind, So pot, because it inhibits the barrier between conscious and unconscious mind. No. But, like a little, it's sort of like flirting. That's the flirtation with the wedding, but it's only flirting. You can only get part way. You gotta do some deep shit. Not shit, like deep meditation or something. Like, I don't know, try something, nothing too weird or extreme. I don't want to recommend anything. What are we talking about? Yeah, no, just that passion, the desire that, it sounds counterintuitive because, if the desire gets wrapped up in I gotta catch them all, then you're fucked, then you're running around like a maniac. But, so, I don't know if the metaphor really works. No, it works. Like, you gotta direct that passion upward. Upward is a metaphor, right? Because heaven or whatever, it's just stars, obviously. But meaning higher chakras, direct the serpent to rise up to the third eye and into the crown, perhaps, metaphorically speaking, or not metaphorically speaking, literally speaking. You know what I'm talking about. We'll get there eventually with them. The beginning of the next cycle of 15, Anyway, we were in the middle of some Orthodox saint or whatever talking. That is why the need for blessed passion of holy love, which binds the intellect to spiritual contemplation and persuades it to prefer what is immaterial to what is material. Yes. So, not only... No, I was going to draw a silly parallel. That's whatever. Anyway, never mind. Basically, imagination is better than stuff coming from a screen. I think everybody knows that on some level. Just turn up. Stop with the screens, Which binds the intellect, to spiritual contemplation and persuades it to prefer what is immaterial to what is material, and what is intelligible to what is apprehended by the senses. To prefer what is intelligible, to prefer what makes sense to what you can look at. Whatever, I don't know. But what was the point? There was a separate point that I was making, but it's lost. It's gone forever. I don't know. Maybe something somewhere in there is maybe something useful, perhaps. I mean, just to loosen up and play with the ideas, rather than if you got them in boxes, if you got them directed, this has a specific definition, a specific place in life. It's a problem. I hate it. But I'm not a Protestant Puritan. No, you are. You got that from your ancestor, dummy. No, but I do yoga. Yeah, but no, don't go overboard and I'm going to become the image of my Puritan ancestors' idea of evil and satanic by being Eastern. Yeah, that's not very cool. Don't do that, please. You're giving a bad name to the rest of us. Okay. I'll just keep reading. Do not imagine that he's talking again. The saint, this guy, Maximus the Confessor. Do not imagine that you enjoy perfect dispassion when the object arousing your intellect is not present. If, when it is present, you remain unmoved by both the object and the subsequent thought of it, you may be sure that you have entered the realm of dispassion. But even so, do not be overconfident, for virtue, when habitual, kills the passions, but when it is neglected, they come to life again. Well, which is it? Be passionate or don't be passionate? Be dispassionate? I don't know. You can try it either way. The tantric, the ascetic. Oh, those are two boxes. Spectrum, please. Fuck the spectrum. All right. We're good, right? You're good. I'm good. We're good. Thank you, Orthodoxy. Have a blessed journey back to wherever the fuck... No, I'm just kidding. You can hang out. Stay if you will, go if you must. Blessed be, as the Wiccans say. All right, next we're going to read some living Gnosis. This guy probably comes from a tradition that was more than a little bit influenced by this being uncovered in the 1700s, more so than anything going back further than that. This is just a guess. Just a guess. Okay, what was he going... Last time he was going on about when Jesus was resurrected, it was just a hologram, or whatever. Okay, that's the late great... no, he's still alive. The dude, as the dude said.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Yes, and who was he talking to?
Nobody fucks with the Jesus.
Yes, the guy from Severance, when he was a bit younger. Okay, what do we got, Mr. Malachi? There is another excellent example. Stop with the stupid examples. I mean, there's another excellent example given within the Orthodox Bible, meaning the Bible. Obviously, when we say Orthodox, talking about Philokalia, we're literally talking about Greek Orthodox. When he says Orthodox, he means everything that isn't Gnosticism, right? Everything within Christianity, I should say, just so as not to confuse people with arcane words that have specific and different meanings. But it works. What? Within the Orthodox Bible, in the book of Acts, not the Acts of Thomas, by definition, very much not the Acts of Thomas, the Acts of Peter and his ilk. What? I haven't read the fucking book of Acts. I've skimmed it. I saw the part where Peter was like, you paid the full 10% of your income to the church? And they were like, yes, Peter. And he's like, you lie! And then, they get struck by lightning and as an example to others, this is what happens when you don't give the full 10% of your income to the church. God destroys you. the God of love? I mean, what happened? There was like the Old Testament God, then there was briefly Jesus in the Gospels, and then now there's this shit, the Acts, and then the fucking Book of Revelation. What is this? You got like, so the red letter Christians are the red letter Christians count the fact that they fucking, I mean, in the red letter, the Book of Revelation has red letter text in it too. Ignore that, I'd say, if you're going to be a red letter. Never mind. Here we go. The Book of Acts, where the conversation of Saul, the conversion of Saul into St. Paul is recorded. Oh, that's always fun. DMT trips are always nice. Now, here's the quote. Now he was going along and approaching Damascus. Isn't that where Ibn Arabi settled? Suddenly, a light from heaven flashed around him. He fell to the ground and heard a voice saying to him,
Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me?
He asked, Who are you, Lord? The reply came,
I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting.
But get up and enter the city, and you will be told what you are to do. And he loves being told what to do. What? And quote, the men who were, when it was up to him, he was like, stone Saint Stephen for being a hippie. The men who were traveling with him were speechless because they heard the voice but saw no one. The men who were traveling with him heard the voice too. Huh. I didn't realize that. I'll just, because there's a paragraph introducing that paragraph, but that paragraph isn't Tao Malachi, it's Tao Malachi. Tao Malachi quoting the Bible, the Orthodox Bible, as he calls it. The Bible, as everyone else in the world calls it. I'll just keep reading. This story continues. They might pronounce it differently. This story continues telling of Paul's blindness and the disciple of Christ in the city. Christ in the city. Christ in the city tonight. Billy Idol. Sorry, I got distracted. Who heals him? Right, Christ in the city who heals him, who also has an intuitive or visionary experience of the living Yeshua, instructing him to do so. That's the same as Christ, like how Talmud. Never mind. People have different names. I have a few myself. You picture different things when you think Yeshua versus Christ. Jesus is the third one. Okay, the Jesus hour. It's going to extend into an hour and a half if we don't stay focused. Focus. Foci. No, focus. This experience represents an initiation through which St. Paul ultimately becomes an apostle. Very Gnostic of you to say so, Tao Malachi, or are you just offering too many donuts to the other side to try to get them to put your fish hook in the donut and say, oh, Paul is cool, I like Paul. And they're like, oh, I like Paul too. Because the fish hook got stuck. Oh, now I'm a Gnostic reading Pistis Sophia. What? This experience, we read that. St. Paul refers to himself as, quote, the least of the apostles. Oh, Martin Luther got his, false humility from... never mind. But nevertheless, he becomes an apostle in this way. In Gnostic teachings, generally, he is spoken of far less than other more significant figures. It's that the humility of the one who's like, do not look upon me as anything but just a poor, destitute man representing the God who will destroy all y'all, bring in the army. Yes, destroy that temple, those people over there, that lady. I think she's a witch. She's a witch, isn't she? I'm so humble. I am the most humble man you will ever meet. Is everybody dead? Okay, they're all dead. Build church with my name written across Lutheran. No, or whatever. Pauline. Never mind. I'm just painting a little fun picture of the essence of Christianity and how it comes across as like, oh yes, remember those guys that came before? They were so mean and arrogant, but not me. I'm so British. Or whatever, Spanish. No. What? That depends on the century. You know. Okay, now it's time. Speaking of something, I don't know. The Syriac is a whole different... I mean, you know, like, okay, yeah, they're coming in and they got their Christianity thing. But I kind of like the vibe of this. It's very silly. Thomas coming in and doing magic tricks and dressing up as Jesus, and it's fun. And the serpent exploded. He just destroyed the serpent from the Garden of Eden. That's a pretty big accomplishment. Did Jesus ever do anything that impressive? I don't think so. We're gonna pick up where we left off last time now. This is the Acts of Thomas in India. You ready? Okay. Neither am I. 334, meaning it's the 34th verse since the very first verse at the beginning of chapter 1. And it happens to be chapter 3. I think, I'll just to be silly, I think Editor Edward, make a note that next time you write a book, do the chapter and verse thing that they do in the Acts of Thomas, and the title, the long run-on sentence titles of each chapter that Ibn Arabi does in the Futuhat. I think it'll be hot. Okay, here we go. But the youth said unto the apostle, with many tears. Oh, that youth. You remember the guy that the serpent killed because he had intercourse and did other shameful acts with the pretty lady? Okay. He wouldn't tell us what they were. Quote, wherein have I sinned against thee? For thou art a man that hast two forms. And wheresoever thou wilt... Why did you translate it into Kajev, the King James Version of English, also known as Shakespearean or Elizabethan or whatever? There thou art found, and art restrained of no man, only when they're quoting someone. Yeah, okay, it's an odd choice of the translator. Translated by M.R. James. Hey, M.R. James, why? Why? When you were translating it from whatever Syriac, I don't know what language the original is written in, and you just it's translated into English. Why did you go with the thee and the thou and the... Okay, just do what thou wilt, right? Okay, yeah. For I saw a man, okay, and wheresoever thou wilt, there thou art found, and art restrained of no man, as I behold. For I saw that man that stood by thee, and said unto thee, quote within quotes, I have many wonders to show forth by thy means, and I have great works to accomplish. Oh, this is Jesus. And I have great works to accomplish by thee, for which thou shalt receive a reward. And thou shalt make many live. You make me live. I have a feeling we might run into copyright issues, so don't play too much of that one. And they shall be in rest in light eternal as children of God. And quote within quotes, do thou then, saith he, speaking unto thee of me, quicken this youth that hath been stricken of the enemy, and be at all times his overseer. What is this, Eminem? Well, therefore, art thou come hither, and well shalt thou depart again unto him, and yet he never shall leave thee at any time. Ooh, a paradox. I love those. But I am become without care or reproach, and he hath enlightened me from the care of the night. Thank you, Mick Jagger. And I am at rest from the toil of the day, and I am set free from him that provoked me to do this, sinning against him that taught me to do contrary thereto. And who was that? You're just now meeting Thomas for the first time, and you're in India. Who taught you to keep it in your pants? Which, never mind. And I have lost him. Oh, maybe the ascetics, some Buddhist or something. Makes sense. Kerala, after all. Or was this Parthi?
Oh, my party over here.
Yes. She's saying my party over here or something like that, but she's actually saying the English word party, but it comes out pari when you're in Pakistan, and it was a meme. It went viral, and then the guy made the song out of it. And it's a sort of funny but retro Indian meme, if you were wondering. But when I think Parthi, it reminds me, just as an association, of Pari-Orye, but Parthi also includes part of what today is Pakistan, and maybe even the place where she was standing when she was having her Pari-Orye might have at one time been the Parthian Empire. So, if you were wondering, the strange, obscure references being had by my brain. What? Yeah, okay, I don't know. Well, therefore, art thou come hither? What? I don't know. But I am become, we read that already. Okay, toil of the day, and I am set free? Yeah, okay. Caught me contrary there, and I have lost him that is the kinsman of the night. We heard that already. Stop it. No repeats. That compelled me, some repeats, but if you do it 3 times, because comedy comes in threes, except for the Rolling Stones one. If it comes up again, then it comes up, but... What? The night that compelled me to sin by his own deeds, and have found him that is of the light, and is my kinsman. I have lost him that he seems to be contradicting the that saint from earlier that's like, oh, there's a little room for arrows. This guy's like, no room for arrows. No, he's not supposed to direct it at the lady. You're supposed to direct it at God. What do you visualize exactly? Well, not a form. Definitely not a golden calf, unless you're into that. No, some kind of writing script. No! Whatever. I'm not here to judge. And I am set free from him. No, okay. Well, yeah, my kinsman. I have lost him that that darkeneth and blindeth his own subjects, that they may not know what they do, and being ashamed at their own works may depart from him, and their works come to an end. And have found him whose works are light, and his deeds truth, which if a man doeth, he repenteth not of them. And I have left him with whom lying abideth, and before whom darkness goeth as a veil. I like it. And behind him followeth shame.
Shame. Shame. Shame. Shame.
Cersei.
Shame.
Not that Cersei. That Cersei. Never mind. What? Shameless in indolence, and I have found him that showeth me fair things, and I may take hold on them, even as the son of the truth that is akin unto concord, who scattereth away the mist, and enlighteneth his own creation, and healeth the wounds thereof, and overthroweth the enemies thereof. But I beseech thee, O man of God, cause me to behold him again, and to see him that is now become hidden from me, that I may also hear his voice, whereof I am not able to express the wonder, for it belongeth not to the nature of this bodily organ. End quote. I wasn't paying attention until the last 2 words. Then I'm like, maybe I should reread that to see what the hell he's talking about. Whatever. No, never mind. 3:35, meaning 3 but not 30. Never mind. And the apostle answered him, saying, Thomas speaking for the first time in this episode. You ready? Is it first time? Maybe. Quote, If thou depart from these things, and whereof thou hast received knowledge, as thou hast said, and if thou know who it is that hath wrought this in thee, and learn and become a hearer of him, whom now in thy fervent love thou seekest, thou shalt both see him and be with him forever. And in his rest shalt thou rest, and shalt be in his joy. So not with the lady, but with him. So Christianity prefers
Never mind. No, I'm making a joke because obviously the reputation that those Leviticus huggers in the South with their signs have. Never mind. But if thou be slackly, there's a word, disposed toward him, and turn again unto thy former deeds, and leave that beauty and that bright countenance which now was showed thee, and forget the shining light which now thou desirest, not only wilt thou be bereaved of this life, but also of that which is to come, and thou wilt depart unto him whom thou saidst thou hadst lost, and will no more behold him whom thou saidst thou hadst found. End quote. Spiritual nursery school, people. No, I mean, yeah, but no. It's pretty basic. I mean, like, it's not that much different. It's not that different from Lord Buddha's advice to his monks about this sort of thing. But it's a little different because Lord Buddha, when he's talking to his monks, he's saying, okay, if you're going to be a monk, then know that putting it in a lady is worse than putting it into a poisonous snake. But, for the people who are the lay people, yeah, no, get married, have kids, come to our lectures. We'll try not to harp so much on the putting it in the snake thing, obviously, because that's not for you, that's for us. And it's a little bit like, hey, Buddha, what? But yeah, Thomas is talking to the random youth who, just jumped up and said, oh my God, I love God. And he's like, you better keep loving God and not that lady. I mean, no, he said, oh, the devil made me do that to the lady. And he's like, and if you forget your love for God and how shiny it is and start doing that to ladies again, then you'll be back with the devil. And it's like, it has some nuances and differences from the way that Buddha was talking. But they're both saying approximately the same thing, which may or may not be useful in your life. Probably not. But, I mean, it's like these guys are dealing with all the struggles that one struggles with in their way. These days, you can find people dealing with it in other less healthy ways or more healthy ways, depending on where you look and your opinion. That whole sex thing, the whole love and all that kind of stuff is like one of the big ones. I mean, when you're a tarot reader or whatever, and someone says, "Hey, I'd like a reading," you just always know that it's either love or money, And by love, of course, we mean love. None of this agape shit. We're talking about eros, you know what I'm saying? That's why I don't read tarot. I mean, one of the reasons. Yeah. Oh, and we retired the tarot card thing because we ended. Did you miss that? We finished Carl Jung's Black Books. Now we're going to read The Serpent Power. So it just doesn't feel right to go or whatever song's playing, putting up tarot cards to be like, so what's the medieval Tantric script, Gita, whatever they call it, I'm going to say today. No, that's more of a Carl thing. I don't know. Where are we? Should I keep reading? Yeah, a little bit. Let's arrive somewhere. Behold, okay, so Thomas said, yeah, and keep it in your pants or else. All right. 3:36. And when the apostle had said this, he went into the city, holding the hand of that youth, and saying unto him, quote, these things which thou hast seen, my child, are but a few of the many which God hath. For he doth not give us good tidings concerning these things that are seen, but greater things than these doth he promise us. But so long as we are in the body, we are not able to speak and show forth those which he shall give unto our souls. There's truth in that. It's hard to put certain things into words, certain experiences you have, and the best you can do is poetry, and know beyond the shadow of a doubt that not a single person on the planet who hasn't experienced the inexpressible thing that you've experienced will get what you're saying from the words, right? And if they did, then they'd worship the words and then make it dogma and then pervert the whole thing and call it Christianity or whatever. No. Or whatever, doing a lot of heavy lifting in that. If we say that he giveth us light, it is this which is seen, and we have it. And if we say it of wealth, which is and appeareth in the world, we name it, and we need it not. Okay, so if we call it light, that doesn't work. If we call it wealth, that doesn't work. I hear you, Thomas. I understand the frustration. And we need it not, for it hath been said, quote within quotes, hardly a rich man enter into the kingdom of heaven, and quote within quotes, something about a cord, mistranslated as a camel. No. Yes. And if we speak of apparel of Raiment, Raiment, I feel like I should know that. Apparel of Raiment, wherewith they that are luxurious in this life are clad, it is named. Oh, there's a footnote. The Syriac text adds, we mentioned something that nobles wear. Okay, why didn't you include that in the text? I mean, nice of you to put it in the footnote if you're going to randomly leave out text. And it hath been said, quote within quotes, they that wear soft raiment are in the houses of kings, end quote within quotes. And if of costly banquets concerning these we have received a commandment to beware of them, not to be weighed down with reveling and drunkenness and cares of this life, speaking of things that are, and it hath been said, quote within quotes, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat or what ye shall drink. Again, I'm quoting Jesus doing a funny voice. Take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat or what ye shall drink, neither for your body what ye shall put on. And quote within quotes, and they left out the best part of that. Worry not for tomorrow will worry for itself. No, that's not the quote, but it's a good quote. Don't worry about the cares of tomorrow. Let tomorrow worry for itself. Tomorrow will worry for itself. Anyway, and if of no, we read that already. Okay, for the soul is more than meat, and the body than raiment. And of rest, if we speak of this temporal rest, a judgment is appointed for this also. But we speak of the world which is above, of God and angels, of watchers and holy ones, of the immortal ambrosial, it says in parentheses for some reason, food, and the drink of the pure, of the true vine, of raiment that endureth and groweth not old, of things which eye, E-Y-E, hath not seen, nor ear, E-A-R, heard, H-E-A-R-D, never mind, it's not like a herd of buffalo. Yeah, neither have they entered into the heart of sinful men, the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. Of these things do we converse, and of these do we bring good tidings.
Good tidings we bring to you and your king. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy.
You can see Santa in the summertime.
It's August now, but still it's summertime. Do thou therefore also believe on him, that thou mayest live, and put thy trust in him, at least, and thou shalt not die. For he is not persuaded with gifts, that thou shouldst offer them to him, neither is he in need of sacrifices, that thou shouldest sacrifice unto him, but look thou unto him, and he will not overlook thee. And turn unto him, and he will not forsake thee. For his comeliness and his beauty will make thee wholly, WH, desirous to love him. And indeed he permitteth thee not to turn thyself away. Love me. Don't stop looking at me. Sounds healthy. No. Today had a theme. And I think there was a baby in that bathwater. There was a lot of bathwater. Bathwater of different kinds as we shifted from Orthodox to, neo-Gnostic to whatever Acts of Thomas is. There was, mostly the Orthodox on the Acts of Thomas. Tao Malachi is just on his own trip, like, Paul likes it. You should like it too. Come to my Gnostic Mass. No, that's a different form of... Never mind. But yeah, no, okay. So, if you want to, you can have a personal relationship with Christ in which you are a youthful boy holding hands with his twin brother. I mean, whatever, it doesn't have to be that you're the woman. Not every guy is comfortable being the bride. So, picture the Virgin Mary. No, I'm just saying. No. Yeah, no. Try Kali. No, what am I talking about? The point is, it's tricky. It's tricky. Because you can't necessarily turn it off. The sexual energy. It turns off on its own with time, eventually. And that's a good thing when it finally does, usually. Unless you're like, doctor, can I have a little blue pill? And, whatever. Everybody's on their own path. But, yeah, if you're going to try to direct the root chakra energy upward to the crown and anchor it there, right? Then you want to nurture that connection and not kind of forget the connection and then let it flow into the streets again, like Solomon says not to do in the Proverbs, right? Because then you'll be back where you were. They have this Christianity, heaven and hell sort of imagery of expressing that, which can be a stumbling block for people who have negative charge on those things that either makes it uncomfortable, makes it unnecessarily restrictive, or just makes you kind of want to be like, this whole thing is... I'm not interested in all of that. I reject it. All of that. I rejected it years ago when I was a teenager or in my 20s or whatever. And so why am I even listening to it? What does this have to do with me? Let's just say it doesn't have anything to do with you, but it might have something to do with some folks. And, it might be in that tricky rapport. The apparent duality. Remember, fuck the spectrum? The apparent duality between... that is drawn, and named, and created and invented. There's that which cannot be seen, and then there's that which you look at. And there's love for the invisible eternal, and then there's lust for, the visible mortal. And these are two different things, and you gotta have this one and not have that one, is what the Christians say, and apparently the Buddhists, except for when they get into the Vajrayana and stuff, then it is a little bit more nuanced, perhaps, and involved. But only for the monks, apparently, and only for, again, with, is it only for the monks, and what... like, what about getting married? You know, oh, well, marriage, yeah. You know, I mean, the Christians, they're like, okay, well, that's the exception. You have to walk this particular walk where you date, you giggle, but don't touch each other, and then you get married, and everybody approves, and then you're allowed to experience these things, and it's a gift from God at that point, but only under these specific circumstances does God approve of an orgasm. And it's like, maybe it's worth, like, setting it all aside, if not throwing it all in the fire, you know? But then once you've thrown it in the fire and it's all burned up, then, you know, after maybe another 30 years, you might decide to look at it and just to see, just like that, just for fun, if for no other reason, if there's a baby in the bathwater. And, you know, maybe there is, but I feel like I've outgrown it, personally. But I get it. I mean, it resonates with certain key moments in my past enough that I think it's, like, worth visiting or revisiting. You know, I mean, it's interesting to read things I haven't read before and see how it lines up with thought processes and you know, all that good stuff. But I don't know. Maybe it's useful. Maybe it's not for you. I mean, and what else? Is there anything else? I don't know. Oh, I was thinking it'd be funny because, see, there's this sticker here, and I don't really want to tear it off and have a sticky rectangle here, so I'm going to read this as best I can. Hearken all... This is Pistis Sophia, the back. Hearken all ye who would know the mysteries of the kingdom of light. Pistis Sophia. Pistis Sophia unfold a log between the risen Christ and his disciples. So we don't know what that says. Revealing the fall and restoration of the celestial figure Sophia. Remember her from, was it the Secret Book of John that we read earlier? Anyway. With the Beelzebub. No, the fucking lion-headed snake guy. Yaldabaoth. There he is. That was the one. That's her kid in that egregore. Or in the dogma of all reality and life, according to some folks who need to do that for some reason in order to argue with their parents or something. I don't know. So, luckily, I didn't come from that kind of family, so it would have been weird for me to be like, Dad, Yaldabaoth. He would have been like, yeah, I'm familiar. Anyway, so, you know, like, what, wouldn't have made sense in my case. Be like, Yaldabaoth, Dad. Right? But for some people, that makes sense to do, and is helpful in life to come back to every now and then. Anyway, okay, are we done here? Yeah, we did it. We did the purple petal. That's nice. It's nice to be done with the purple petal. No, next time it'll be the orange petal, and it's going to be Edward. You remember him? And he's going to be reading the and other writings of Hermes Trismegistus. And so you can look forward to that. That'll be the third of the final quinary of the Monsoon 15. And we're getting toward the end of the Monsoon 15. After that will be the red and white that has the thing that goes bleep, bleep, bleep up at the end. You know what I mean, right? No, it's okay. It's not important. And anyway, all right. That's it. That's it out of me for today. Wishing you a wonderful week. What is it, Wednesday? Mercury Day. Oh, Wednesday. Yeah. Okay. Click the links, one of them, and we'll see you next time. Take care.